To me, this is a big story out of the NBA tonight, all right? Kenneth Faried of the Brooklyn Nets has agreed to a buyout. Dude making about $13.7 million in the last year of his deal. It's a big move for him, man. He was in Brooklyn, and just to be completely honest with you, he just fell out of the rotation. Brooklyn had went in a different direction. They're going with that young kid in Allen. They like him a lot. And Dwindle and a couple other young guys, and Kenneth Faried just ain't fit in, you know. And I've never really understood Kenneth Faried game in a league where a lot of big guys have developed three-point shots. With Kenneth Faried kind of being undersized, he's listed as 6'8". I would even say he might be 6'7", you know, but he's again listed as 6'8", having to play the 4 and the 5. He can't shoot. I never understood why he didn't develop that jumper in Denver. Remember, in Denver, Kenneth Faried was a starter averaging 13 and 8 for like 6-7 years there. So yeah, I mean, this guy has been a proven commodity in the league. I always compare Kenneth Faried and Thaddeus Young, what they bring to the game of basketball. Thaddeus is a little better than Kenneth Faried. But the Houston Rockets have picked up Kenneth Faried off the buyout market. So he's going to clear waivers by Monday, and then he'll become a Houston Rocket. So they're getting him for pretty much nothing. The bulk of his money is bought out with Brooklyn, so they'll pay off most of that. And again, he hadn't played in the last 3 games. He's only averaging so many minutes this year, not a lot. Again, Brooklyn went in a different direction. They're playing good ball. They don't want to touch anything right now. You know, Kenneth Faried needed a new beginning. Didn't like last year, he got caught with some weed or something like that. And, you know, his career was definitely on the back end. Dude's only 29 years old. So he could definitely have some meaningful minutes, you know, and Houston will be one of the most active teams towards the deadline. You know, they're looking for guys. Houston is one of the, I'm going to do a video on that. Houston is one of the 7 or 8 teams that are actively looking for free agents. Here's the reality of the situation. They struck out on Jimmy Butler. Remember, they offered 4 first-round picks for Jimmy Butler, and they were unable to obtain them. Remember, they went after LeBron this summer too, but they couldn't get a meeting. They were going after other big-name free agents this summer, but until this summer reaches, they're trying to maximize these opportunities that they have with Chris Paul. Again, you want to take as much weight as you can off of the groin of Chris Paul. You know, he kind of fell out at the end of last year's playoff run, and you don't want that to happen again. You want to give Harden enough to be able to go in Golden State and win 1 game if it's going to take that to get to the finals again. So right now the Rockets they're shopping. They're looking for guys, little cheap guys like that. They're still talented, but are looking for, you know, a new beginning, and that's what Kenneth Faried was looking for. He got bought out, and they're going to stick him probably right into that starting lineup. Clint Capela will be out for 4 to 6 weeks. Middle of February is his return date with that broken right thumb. So they need guys. They need guys to fill minutes. And Kenneth Faried is of the same lineage of a Clint Capela. He's not as good as Clint Capela is in pick and roll. He's not as big as Clint Capela, but he will be viable, right? He will be viable and getting rebounds and just kind of doing all the dirty work for James Harden, setting him hard screens so he can get more shots up. Again, with him, and it's going to pretty much be Clint and Nene right now sharing the minutes until they get healthy. And Chris Paul is expected to be back in the lineup next week, but this does help a lot. You get a guy who's a career 13 and 8. Yeah, you bring him in. You bring him in and let him give you as much energy as he has possible. And hopefully this can be a guy that you use for big-time minutes in the playoffs. I personally believe once you got Chris Paul healthy and you got James Harden, and at the 3 you can kind of wing that bad boy with either like a PJ Tucker or Gerald Green or whoever's making shots per game. I say you kind of wing it at the 3, and then in the playoffs, I might go Kenneth Faried and Clint Capela just to be able to have Faried on the perimeter with Durant and do the best he can, or maybe have Faried sometimes guarding a Durant and let Tucker and him kind of switch back and forth so they can kind of take breaks. If not, let Faried go bang with Draymond Green. He can bang. He's got some weight on him. And then, you know, have Clint Capela guard DeMarcus Cousins. So you needed that body. That's a good body to have right now. I think it's a good move for Houston. But listen, they're not done. Before the trade deadline, they're going to strike again. I don't know what's out there, but I would think they're going to go get a viable backup point guard. They got to get a point guard so Harden doesn't have to do what he's doing right now. Like, I know he enjoys having the ball in his hands and bringing it up court and pretty much producing for his team any which way they need him as the primary ball handler and, you know, assist maker, everything, scorer. You gotta, his body's just gonna break down. You'll get exactly what you got in the playoffs last year, a shell of himself, right? Sometimes he'll have it in the playoffs. Other nights he won't. He cannot continue to do what he's doing. Last week he had a stretch. One night he went for 57. The next night he went for 58. Dude cannot continue to play this type of basketball. He's just not going to hold up. Hopefully guys like Kenneth Faried, if whatever they can give you, it just takes a little bit off the shoulders. And I expect Houston to be very active come NBA trade deadline. They're not done. All right, they're looking for help. They think this is the year, the window for them to try to do what they should have did last year and make it a run to the NBA Finals. And they believe once they get to the Finals, any team that comes out of the East, they like their chances, all right? I'm out. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
I got the kids, they are now tuned in.
Yo, we locked in right now, Mr.
Telefaried.
Shout out to Mr. Telefaried.
You watching Mr. Telefaried TV.
Mr. Telefaried TV, here with the Triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.